doing, New Hope students? If we haven't met yet, my name is Emily and I'm a part of the New Hope students team. And today, I have the joy of kicking off our winter life groups. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about an amazing opportunity that you can be a part of. That's right, Revive Weekend. Ah, yeah, Revive. We love Revive. It's amazing. Who said that? I believe that the Lord has some big plans for your life, and Revive is one cool way to dedicate a weekend to figuring out what that next step might be that He wants you to take. So sign up today, and I promise you will not regret it. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Over the next few weeks, both in life groups and on the weekends, we will be walking through a series that reminds us of something simple but life-changing. God's way is always better. That means in every aspect of our lives, whether that be our plans for the future, our relationships, our friendships, how we spend our time, whatever it may be. His way is literally always going to be better, because when we place these things in His hands, He doesn't just use them, He transforms them into something far greater than we could ever imagine on our own. And that's exactly where we're starting today. When I give God my plans, I can trust that He sees the bigger picture, and I can find peace while following Him, knowing that His plans are for my benefit. Now, we all make plans for our lives, right? And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. We make plans for our future, plans for school, plans for our relationships and friendships. We plan our outfits for the next day. Some of you might plan who you're gonna sit next to in a certain class, what you're gonna eat for lunch. I made a plan when I was younger that I was gonna marry Joe Jonas. We plan everything in our lives, the big and the small. Now think about it. What percentage of those plans go exactly the way we envision them? Probably not a lot. I'm not married to Joe Jonas, so that plan is not working out for 13-year-old Emily. I can also say from personal experience that the odds are not in my favor when it comes to me trying to take control and make big plans for my life. Today, we're gonna look at a couple of verses that talk about how our plans relate to God's plan. The first verse actually comes from Proverbs, which is a bit of wisdom literature in the Old Testament, and it says this: "We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps." Basically, what this verse is saying is that I can make all the plans I want in this life, but guess what? It's all in God's hands, not mine. He's the one to open and close doors in my path, and He's the one calling the shots. Now, quick sidebar. By a show of hands, how many of y'all like a beach vacation, right? I love the beach. Raise your hands as high as you possibly can. Now, keep your hands up if your family loves to puzzle while on said beach vacation. That's what I thought. I can guess a lot of hands went down. I think we can all agree that a puzzle is not the number one thing we want to do at the beach. We would much rather get a suntan, surf, boogie board, and maybe grill some burgers. In my family though, thanks to my beautiful mom, doing a large and complicated puzzle is quite literally the most intense part of our trip. Let me tell you, I have some grandma level hobbies in my life, but I do not enjoy a puzzle on vacation. A puzzle does not fit into my beach plans. But every time we go somewhere, here comes my mom with a great idea to do a puzzle. Now, let's think about your plans in life in relation to a puzzle. Let's say I just have a piece. No box with the final image on it to help me out, just a pile and pile of thousands of pieces. This puzzle represents my life, and all I get is one piece at a time. How hard do you think it would be to put this puzzle together? Pretty challenging, right? I don't even know what I'm creating. I'm getting pieces from the left side of the image one day and the right side the next. Without knowing what I'm doing, I'm trying to shove them together, and it's frustrating, and I'm lost. And eventually, I give up and inevitably get angry that it's not working out, and then I try again, and I give up again because I'm trying to take control and it's not going my way. It's because I need the full picture in order to put this puzzle together. If I had the full picture, I could see that this piece belongs in the middle. Or I could realize that my dog Winnie ate a piece when I knocked it off the table. The full picture is key to putting this thing together, but I don't have access to it. The same thing goes for our plans in life. We constantly try and force pieces together And it doesn't work. We change ourselves to try and fit in so that I can be friends with that specific person. We planned to eat 20 slices of pizza at groups tonight, and our stomach started to hurt after 3. We take all the right advanced classes so that I can finish high school with a degree and immediately become an adult and get this career that pays really well. And once I get that job, I'll meet the love of my life, Joe Jonas, and we'll be married for 2 or 3 years, and then we'll have kids, and then they will go to this specific school, and we'll travel to these specific places, and boom! There's our entire life plan summed up in about 2 sentences. The kicker is, we can try and force those pieces together as long and as hard as we want, but we're putting them together blindly. We don't have the full picture. But you know the one who does. The only one with the full and infinite picture is God. He's the one holding up the box with the front cover of the entire image. And while he's been over here, standing there, offering to take over, putting the puzzle together, we've been over here, trying to force pieces together that aren't even from the same puzzle. I mean, look how complicated this is. I would have never have been able to put this together without the full picture. When we give God our plans, we can trust that he sees the big picture. God is the one that determines our next piece and our next step in life. He sees the full big picture, and when we trust him and lay our plans at his feet, he does immeasurably more than what we could ever dream up, and it's always better than what we think. Now, we just took a trip in Proverbs. Now we're going to jump from the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament in Romans 8:28, and it says this: "We know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them." God's plans are always going to be better than our own. I need you to hear that. He only wants what's best for us. Even when things don't go how we want, God can turn the good, the bad, and the unexpected into something far better. Here's a quick example for you. I was part of a Christian camp called Impact for all 4.5 years of my time in college. I was a counselor for 2, and then 1 year I decided I would apply for a leadership position. Everyone was hyping me up for this position, saying, "Oh, you're gonna do great. There's no way you won't get it. You're made for this, blah, blah, blah." Spoiler alert, I didn't get it, and all my other friends did. I was devastated and so confused as to why this was not part of the Lord's plan for me when it felt so right, and I thought it would fit perfectly into my plans. But after I pulled myself out of the pit of despair from not getting the position, sad, I found out about an opportunity on the media team, and I was encouraged to apply. I got it, but I was not very excited about it. But that summer, I also had a job working for another camp in Dallas doing photography for them, so I figured I might as well make that the theme of my summer and give media team a try. Joke's on me, I ended up loving media team, and it was so apparent that the Lord was going to use this gift he gave me for something so much bigger. I took that time in my life and I look back at it and I laugh because that was the exact moment that I gave my plans to the Lord, and he used that to redirect me completely from what I thought I would be doing with my life. That one circumstance changed everything and opened so many doors for me to walk through. Throughout the next few years, as I walked through different doors and ran towards different opportunities, I did so with extreme peace and confidence that the Lord had my future figured out. It's honestly how I ended up here, talking to you on this screen today. It took something disappointing in my life to fully surrender to the Lord and submit my plans to him, and he took them and ran with it, and he showed me something so much better. In Matthew 11, it says, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest.'" The Lord provided me with such peace and rest in that situation once I started trusting him with my plans. Since then, he has continued to amaze me with things in my life that I never thought I'd be doing or going through. Some of those situations have been scary and honestly, really, really hard. But the peace that I have felt walking through those hard times has been completely from the Lord. Life has felt lighter once I gave my plans to Jesus. He walks with me and he carries the weight for me. This feeling has made it abundantly easier to submit my plans to him because I know it's going to be the best thing for me. I know trusting God with your plans is never an easy task, But knowing that he is the one with the big picture and full understanding of where you're going in life is so comforting and assuring. When you submit your plans and control to him, he meets it with an overwhelming feeling of peace, and he carries your burden for you. So I want to encourage y'all to trust him with your plans, because he's going to run literal circles around you and truly amaze you with what he can do. Just like Isaiah 55:8 says, which just so happens to be part of our memory verse this semester, "My thoughts are nothing like your thoughts, says the Lord, and my ways are far beyond anything you can imagine." His ways are always better than our own. We just have to take the step of giving it all to him and trusting him to provide the next piece. Guys, I had so much fun talking with y'all today. Have a great time in your groups. Love ya. See you later.